So, MarcAndre Fleury's on the IR with concussion-like symptoms. Oh, we're here already, are we? We're about 2 weeks into the season, and we're already up to our first injury that concussion spotters should have spotted. There's limited power that concussion spotters have, but, you know, MarcAndre Fleury gets hurt during the game, and he's left in the game. Brain injuries are nothing to mess around with. And yet the NHL is still playing with fire. A concussed goalie was left in the game. So Vegas now doesn't have a goaltender because they decided to get rid of Calvin Pickard, that Pickard wasn't as good as Malcolm Subban, even though at the time that Jorge McPhee picked up Malcolm Subban, he said he wasn't ready for the NHL yet. So depending on how long this concussion lasts, and concussions can last for months, and depending on what Vegas does, all of a sudden those extra defensemen, now he's going to be dangling them to get a goaltender back. So remind me again how Jorge McPhee is making really good use of the resources he was given as an expansion GM. That he has too many defensemen he still hasn't dealt with. He's got Shipachev, one of his best forwards, not playing for him. MarcAndre Fleury gets hurt, and he got rid of Pickard so he could bring in Subban, a goaltender that he says, yeah, isn't ready for the NHL yet. Can't get rid of him without putting him right back on waivers, and Boston will take him back and say, thank you. Now he's got to bring in another goalie. Rather than having Pickard, who, whether Pickard's good or bad, proved last year that at the very least he can play backup in the NHL. And he can fill in for a little while if he needs to, like he did when Varlamov was out for Colorado. So, Vegas is in trouble. And it'll be interesting because tonight they're playing against Boston. Which would mean that Malcolm Subban would play against Tuukka Rask. Now, the good news is if you're a Vegas fan, Malcolm Subban may play the best hockey of his life against the Boston Bruins. Then again, he may not be ready for the NHL, and the Boston Bruins players who spent training camp with him may know his weaknesses. So I don't know how Vegas deals with this, and I don't know how the NHL continues to do this. Concussion-like symptoms. It's a concussion. Draisaitl in Edmonton. It's a concussion. But now they've started saying concussion-like symptoms. Well, in Draisaitl's case, you're saying concussion-like symptoms. You know who has concussion-like symptoms? A guy with a concussion. So we'll see. We'll see if this is what causes Vegas to look a lot more like an expansion team. You certainly can't count on James Neal scoring more than a goal a game. That's not going to happen. Not for a full season. He's not that good. So he's going to come back to earth, and now Fleury's out. It could be a long rest of the month for Vegas. You guys can let me know what you think in the comment section below. Is the NHL still playing with fire here, considering there's that whole concussion lawsuit out there hanging around? Is the fact that one of the more known goalies in the league, we can debate whether he's one of the better goalies or not till the cows come home, but one of the better known goalies in the league being out with a concussion, doesn't that kind of feed the fire for the guys who are in this lawsuit right now, based on what we've heard? Played the rest of the game. Concussion spotters didn't pull him out, and now he's got a concussion. He got a concussion when the hit took place. So let me know what you guys think. And, yes, like and subscribe. Those buttons are your friends. And I'll talk to you again soon.